In today's headlines, Yuletide job recoveries seen. 5 million jobs in 3 days. 5 high-rank officials eyed as police chief. Perjury jail time lengthened. Bongbong petition resolved by December. Lacson Malls ICC return. Political peace anchors smooth vax program. And in other news, Ortigas Malls celebrates a Christmas with the stars. Good morning, I am Vernon Velasco and this is Tribune News on Q. Today is November 5, 2021 and these are the latest news this Friday morning. Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez said Thursday that more lost jobs may be recovered in the weeks to come following the possible further easing of community quarantine in Metro Manila to Alert Level 2 from Level 3. Lopez was reacting to reports the unemployment rate jumped to 8.9% in September from the 8.1% in August when the National Capital Region was placed under the strictest community lockdowns. ECQ referred to hard lockdown and MECQ to a slightly less strict quarantine level. Alert Level 4 was the second most stringent of the new 5-level alert level system pilot tested in Metro Manila. Lopez maintained that government economic managers are in support of calls made by the business sector for the further easing of community curbs from Alert Level 3 to Level 2. Alert Level 3 will run up to 14 November, after which Lopez said the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases shall decide whether to stay at Level 3 or go down to Level 2. He added that he sees huge chances that Level 2 will be imposed on 15 November, citing dipping COVID-19 cases that hit 1,591 on Wednesday, the lowest in 8 months according to the Department of Health. Socioeconomic Planning Secretary Carl Kendrick Chua said better labor outcomes in October can be expected, reflecting the full impact of the implementation of granular lockdowns in Metro Manila. In other news, Vaccine Cesar Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. said the government is moving to vaccinate at least 5 million Filipinos during the National Vaccination Day, which will actually span 3 days. Galvez said the vaccination drive will be more or less 3 consecutive days in order to maintain its momentum. He did not specify, though, when the event will happen. In order to achieve the ambitious target, Galvez said the government will conduct house-to-house vaccination and clustering. Public schools and gyms will also be used as vaccination sites. The target this month is to inoculate 15 million to 20 million and, if the government can achieve 20 million this month, it can inoculate more than 50 million, he said. The government is eyeing to increase the daily jabs per day to 1.5 million, far from the current daily shots of 500,000. As this developed, the Philippine National Police assured readiness to deploy its air, land, and sea assets to facilitate the safe delivery of vaccine doses across the country. PNP Chief General Guillermo Elazar was reacting to an order by President Duterte for the entire government bureaucracy, including the police and military, to go all hands on deck in distributing the vaccines. He added that the administration of booster shots for healthcare workers and immunocompromised individuals will also start this November. Based on the vaccine statistics report from the National Vaccination Operations Center, a total of 27,749,809 individuals are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. This is equivalent to around 35.97% of the 70% target population of 110 million Filipinos to achieve herd immunity. Meanwhile, there are now 32,656,615 partially vaccinated individuals who are waiting for their second dose. According to the data from NVOC, the government has administered 724,294, the highest recorded number of jabs per day on 22 October. The government aims to vaccinate at least 77,139,058 individuals, or 70% of over 110 million Filipinos by the end of the year, or early quarter of the 2022. The Philippines on Thursday recorded a total of 1,766 new COVID-19 cases, the second consecutive day that recorded cases were below 2,000. Based on the Department of Health's latest case bulletin, the fresh infections pushed the country's total caseload to 2,795,642, of which 37,159 are tagged as active cases. Of the active cases, 69.9% are mild, 5.3% are asymptomatic, 8.2% are severe, and 3.5% are in critical condition. Tribune News on Q will be back after these short reminders.
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Magandang araw mga katribo! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelevelo, Comfy Manalo, Atty. Lia Badillo Crisostomo, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Jerk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas na ang mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Sama-sama natin alamin ang mga natatagong istorya sa mga latest na kaganapan sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Simulan natin ang bawat umaga with good vibes sa mga informative and recreational segments ng aming programa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings, mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magkita-kita po tayo mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga at magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising Na!
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
We are back on Tribune News on Q. President Rodrigo Duterte has approved a measure imposing longer jail time for individuals who commit perjury by making untruthful statements under oath. Duterte on Friday signed Republic Act 11594 that renders perjury punishable with prison mayor in its minimum period to prison mayor in its medium period, or from 6 years and 1 day to up to 10 years of imprisonment. The amendment also increased the penalty for perjury against public officials and government personnel with imprisonment to be imposed in its maximum period, along with a fine of 1 million pesos and perpetual disqualification from holding any government position. The newly signed measure amended Article 183 of RA 3815, or the revised penal code. Previously, persons guilty of perjury were only sentenced to arresto mayor in its maximum period to prison correctional, in its minimum period, or from 4 months and 1 day to 2 years and 4 months of imprisonment. RA 115941 also amended Article 184 to include the element of a witness showing willingness to provide false testimony in any judicial or official proceeding. If any provision of RA 115941 is declared unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity of the other provisions thereof, Duterte said. All laws, rules, and regulations that may be inconsistent with the provision of RA 115941 were repealed or amended accordingly, he added. Meanwhile, former Senator Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. will have to wait until December at the earliest for a decision by the Commission on Elections on a petition to cancel his certificate of candidacy for president in next year's polls. Even as Marcos lawyer Vic Rodriguez said during a television interview that they have yet to get a copy of the petition as of Wednesday night, COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez sees a resolution of the case by late December. Jimenez said that the Marcos camp shall be given 5 days to answer the petition, after which the parties will be called to a pre-conference and then given 3 days to submit their respective memorandum. The petition will then be considered submitted for resolution by the division of the COMELEC to which it will be raffled off, Jimenez said. Rodriguez brushed as a nuisance petition the move to cancel Marcos COC, taking issues with the former senator being branded as a tax evader by the yellow political assassins. Marcos' counsel said that former Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio knew that the petition he pushed as a test case on moral turpitude has no legal legs to stand on. Otherwise, Carpio himself and not just unknown personalities would have filed the petition, Rodriguez said. He said a 1997 Court of Appeals decision merely fined Marcos for failure to file his income tax return for the period of 1982 to 1985, during which he was a governor, and that the task of filing income tax already withheld fell on someone at the provincial capital. In fact, Marcos did not claim his salaries for the said period because the same were allocated for projects in the province, Rodriguez said. In other news, presidential aspirant and Senator Panfilo Ping Lacson on Thursday said he is open to the Philippines returning to the International Criminal Court should he be elected in the 2022 national elections. Lacson said that the country should return to the Rome Statute because it is the court of the powerless. The senator was speaking before the media during the first ever Meet the Press program of his tandem with Senate President Vicente Soto III, where they laid out their platforms in the next year's polls. Lacson also stressed that the possible return to the ICC has its own advantages and disadvantages and should be weighed in carefully. To recall, President Rodrigo Duterte in 2019 ordered the country's unilateral withdrawal from the Rome Statute after the ICC announced the preliminary examination over his war on illegal drugs that killed thousands of Filipinos was underway. But the cancellation of the membership did not affect the proceedings after the International Court on September 2021 gave the office of the then prosecutor Fatu Bensouda the green light to open an official investigation on the drug war. It added that despite the withdrawal, it still has the authority to investigate the alleged crimes against humanity conducted in the country while it was still a state party ranging from 1 November 2011 to 16 March 2019. Meantime, the Lacson-Soto tandem also disclosed a meeting with ambassadors from 15 different countries on Wednesday night, noting that they have explained to the envoys the reason for running in the 2022 polls, along with the programs that they will be pushing should they be elected. Tribune News on Q will be back after these short reminders.
Boto mo to Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
We are back on Tribune News on Q. Muntinlupa City Representative Rufy Biazon said it is political peace that helped the smooth implementation of the city's COVID-19 vaccination program. Biazon, in an interview with the Daily Tribune's morning online show Gising Na, stressed that despite their political differences and the election season, government officials in Muntinlupa City are working together for a common goal. He added that although they came from different political parties, there is a local alliance where incumbent officials strive to work together and efficiently deliver public service. Around 12,000 individuals aged 12 to 17 years old registered for the pediatric vaccination in Muntinlupa City, according to the lawmaker. Fresnedi and Biazon are seeking to switch posts for mayor and congressman respectively in the 2022 elections. For Lifestyle Report, Christmas came to town last night at the Green Hills G Strip with the Ortigas Malls Christmas lighting event entitled Christmas with the Stars. Starting off brand, the event opened with a dashing fireworks display. Dozens of tents were lined up with different merchants ready to serve their food and beverages that range from street food, different kinds of pasta, shawarma, desserts, and the Filipino favorite Christmas staples bibingka and puto bongbong. Some tents sold non-food products too, like shoes, plushies, gardening, and home care products. One of the merchants with a unique concept is Hannah, using her car trunk to display her products from WJH Home, and Body Essentials. She sells linen mists, essential oils, whitening soaps, scented candles, body massage, oils, aromatherapy, oils, and more.
Kaya lang kasi kailangan mo maghanap ng ibang outlet of income.
Yes.
So, at saka na-inspire ako kasi most of the employees nawawalan sila ng work. Pero, nagpo-put up sila ng business even si small. Parang ako naman, sige. Parang hindi ka in pag-pandemic tapos wala kang negosyo.
Wala kang passion.
Parang wala kang, parang dun lumabas yung mga creative juices.
Never a dull moment, a DJ continuously played songs throughout the event to make sure that people continued to be in a festive mood. The Christmas season has always been a special time for Filipinos and our culture. To have Christmas taken away from us by COVID-19, it's no surprise that this event is a success. Friends and family came together to partake on this joyous occasion amid the loosening of quarantine restrictions due to the drop in COVID-19 cases. But that doesn't mean there is room for complacency. Health and safety protocols were implemented in this event with PNP personnel and security guards roaming the open area to make sure the people are strictly adhering to the minimum health standards. Truly a Christmas night with the stars, this event sheds a light on our country's shift to winning over the pandemic. Thank you, Van, for the report. And that wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, Mary Kay Araneta Center, the Department of Tourism, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Vernon Velasco, and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its Viber community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune mascot Tarsito are available on our community Viber.